Let's continue to look at husband. Let's go to Judges, and we want chapter 13, and we want 6 through 13. Then the woman came and told her husband, saying, A man of God came unto me, and his countenance was like the countenance of an angel of God, very terrible. But I asked him not whence he came, neither told he me his name. But he said unto me, Behold, thou shalt conceive, and bear a son, and now drink no wine or strong drink, neither eat any unclean thing, for the child shall be a Nazarene to God from the womb to the day of his death. Then Monarch instructed the Lord and said, O my Lord, let the man of God, which thou didst send, come again to us, and teach us what we shall do unto the child that shall be born. And God hearkened unto the voice of Monarch, and the angel of God came again unto the woman as she sat in the field. But Monarch her husband was not with her. And the woman made haste and ran, and showed her husband, and said unto him, Behold, the man hath appeared unto me, and came unto me another day. And Monarch arose, and went after his wife, and came to the man, and said unto him, Art thou the man that speaketh unto the woman? And he said, I am. And Monarch said, How let thy words come to pass? How shall we order the child, and how shall we do unto him? And the angel of the Lord said unto Monarch, Of all that I say unto the woman, let her beware. Let's go chapter 14, 15. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they said unto Simeon's wife, Enhance thy husband, that he may declare unto thee the riddle, lest we burn thee and thy father's house with fire, and ye call us to take that we have. Is it not so? Let's go to chapter 19, verse 3. And her husband arose and went after her, to speak friendly unto her, and to bring her again, having his servant with him, with a couple of asses. And she brought him into her father's house. And when the father of the damsel saw him, he rejoiced to meet him. Go to chapter 20, and we want verse 4. And the Levite, the husband of the woman that was slain, answered and said, I come unto Gihah that belongeth to Benjamin. I am my concubine to lodge. Let's go to the book of Ruth. We want chapter 1 and 1 through 13. And it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled, that there was a famine in the land. And a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. And the name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of the wife Naomi. And the name of his 2 sons was Mahlon and Chilion, Ephraimites of the Bethlehem, Judah, and they came into the country of Moab and continued there. And Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left and her 2 sons. And they took them wives of the women of Moab. The name of one was Ophrah, and the name of the other Ruth. And they dwelled there about 10 years. And Mahon and Clayton died also, both of them. And the woman was left of her 2 sons and her husband. And she arose with her daughters-in-law, that she might return from the country of Moab. And she had heard in the country of Moab how that the Lord had visited his people in the giving them bread. Wherefore she went forth out of the place where she was, her and her daughters-in-law with her, and they went on the way to return unto the land of Judah. And Naomi said unto her 2 daughters-in-law, Go return each to your mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you, and ye have dealt with the dead and with me. the Lord grant you that ye may find rest each of you in the house of your husband. When she kissed him, and they lifted up their voices and wept, and they said unto her, Surely we will return with thee until thy people. And Naomi said, Turn again, my daughters. Why will you go with me? Are there yet any more sons in my womb, that they may be your husband? Turn again, my daughters, go your way, for I am too old to have a husband. And if I shall say, I have hope, if I should have any husband also tonight, that should bear a son, why ye tarry for them till they are grown? Would ye stay for them from not having husband? Nay, my daughters, for it giveth me much for your sake, that the hand of the Lord is gone out against me. So chapter 2, verse 11. And Boaz answered and said unto her, It hath fully been showed me all that thou hast done unto thy mother-in-law since the death of thy husband, and how thou hast lifted thy father and thy mother and the land of thy nativity, and art come unto a people which thou knowest not therefore. Let's go to 1 Samuel. We want chapter 1 and verse 8. Then said Elkanah her husband to her, Hannah, why weepest thou? And why eatest thou not? And why is thy heart grieved? Am not I better to thee than 10 sons? Let's go on down to 22 and 23. But Hannah went not up, for she said unto her husband, I will not go up until the child be weaned, and then I will bring him, that he may appear before the Lord, and there abide forever. And Elkanah her husband said unto her, Do what seemeth good, tarry till thou hast weaned him. Only the Lord established his word. So the woman obeyed, and gave her son suck until she weaned him. Let's go to chapter 2, verse 19. Moreover, his mother made him a little coat, and brought it to him from year to year, when she came up with her husband to offer the yearly sacrifice. Let's go to chapter 4, 19 to 21. And his daughter-in-law, Phinehas' wife, was with child, near to be delivered. And when she heard the tidings that the ark of God was taken, and that her father-in-law and her husband were dead, and bound herself to travel, for her pains came upon her. And about the time of her death, the woman that stood by her said unto her, Fear not, for thou hast borne a son. But she answered not, neither did she regard it. And she named the child Ichabod, saying, The glory is departed from Israel, because the ark of God was taken, and because of her father-in-law and her husband. Let's go to chapter 25 and we want 19. And she said unto her servant, Go on before me, behold, I come after you. But she told not her husband Nabal. Let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 3 and 15 and 16. And Ishbosheth sent and took her from her husband, even from Pethel the son of Losh. And her husband went with her along, weeping behind her, to Barham. Then said Amber unto him, Go return. And he returned. Let's go to chapter 11, 26. And when the wife of Eula heard that Eula her husband was dead, she mourned for her husband. Let's go to chapter 14 and 5 through 7. And the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, I am indeed a widow woman, and my husband is dead. And thy handmaid had 2 sons, and they 2 strove together in the field, and there was none to part them. But the one smote the other, and slew him. And behold, the whole family is risen against thine handmaid, And they said, Deliver him that smote his brother, that we may kill him, for the life of his brother whom he slew. And we will destroy the heir also, and so they shall quench my coal which is left, and shall not leave my husband neither name nor remainder upon the earth. Let's go to 2 Kings, and we want chapter 4 and verse 1. Now there cried a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets unto Elijah, saying, Thy servant, my husband, is dead, and thou knowest that thy servant did fear the Lord, and the creditors is come to take upon him my 2 sons to be bondmen. It's going down to 9. And she said unto her husband, Behold now, I perceive that this is a holy man of God, which passeth by us continually. It's going down to 14. And he said, What then is to be done for her? And Gaza answered, Verily she hath no child, and her husband is old. Let's go on down to 22. And she called unto her husband and said, Send me, I pray thee, one of the young men and one of the asses, that they may run to the man of God and come again. It's going down to 25 and 26. So she went and came unto the man of God to Mount Carmel. And it came to pass, when the man of God saw her afar off, that he said to Gehazi his servant, Behold, yonder is that Shunammite. Run now, I pray thee, to meet her, and say unto her, Is it well with thee? Is it well with thy husband? Is it well with the child? And she answered, It is well.